Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Out of the Abyss. With you as per usual, your hosts, Lot, Jake, and Pip. We're bringing you guys...
Hello.
Hey.
We're bringing you guys something a little new this week. The last couple of weeks we've been dealing with some pretty heavy topics, and I thought it'd be fun to mix it up, hear from everybody. We're going to take a look at the creepiest Wikipedia articles that we could find. We're going to take turns presenting. I'm going to go first. Which of you two would like to go second? Jake, Pip? Fist fight over it?
Sure, I'll go.
Oh, Jake claims it.
Claimed. Back the fuck off, dude.
First on the draw. All right.
Yep.
So to open with, I present to you the page of Rosalia Lombardo, an Italian child who died of pneumonia on the 6th of December 1920, a week shy of her second birthday. And her father had her preserved, and her mummified body was admitted to the Capuchin catacombs of Palermo in Sicily, and you can still go and see it. Because it's...
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, because it's super well preserved. Yeah, well, the Capuchin catacombs. And
In relation to the monkey?
I don't know, maybe.
Sure.
Etymologically.
Why not?
But,
I just thought the monkeys didn't live near Italy. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting you off topic immediately.
but maybe an Italian named the monkey.
Oh, maybe.
Anyways, thanks to the embalming techniques that were used, the body was super well preserved. X-rays of the body showed that all the organs are still intact.
Whoa.
Her body was kept in a little chapel beside a wooden pedestal, but they took some pictures in 2009, National Geographic did, and they showed that the mummy was beginning to show signs of decomposition and discoloration. So the mummy was moved to a drier spot, and her coffin was placed in a hermetically sealed glass enclosure with nitrogen gas to prevent decay. And it remains one of the best preserved bodies in the catacombs.
Huh.
That's so fucking weird, dude.
Yeah.
Why are they going to such lengths for this kid? Just because she's already well preserved and it's kind of cool?
Yeah, I mean...
I guess so.
Once you hit the 100-year mark, that's like a historical...
I mean, yeah, the kid did become an artifact.
So what they used to preserve was a mix of 1 part glycerin, 1 part formalin saturated with zinc sulfate and zinc chloride, and 1 part of an alcohol solution saturated with salicylic acid. And it was entered into the body through a single point injection, probably the femoral artery, via a gravity injector. And the femoral artery, if you don't know, is in your thigh.
I've got like 40% of that stuff, I think.
You can preserve a child if you want to.
Nice. Send me your kids.
So the report was that the formalin was used to kill bacteria. The glycerin was used to prevent desiccation, like it replaces the water in cells, basically. The salicylic acid was used to eliminate any fungi within the flesh, and the zinc salts were to petrify the flesh. The mummy is also famous because there's a phenomenon in which her eyes appear to open and close several times a day, revealing her still intact blue irises.
Whoa.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Fun fact about formalin, it's just watered down formaldehyde.
Really cheaping you out on that one, dude.
The person that runs the catacomb says that it's just an optical illusion produced by the light that filters through the side windows.
That's what the kid wants you to think.
Yeah, I bet.
If that thing blinked at me, I would scream like a little fucking girl, 100%.
Just turned and stared at you.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
Dude. It's like porcelain dolls, right? Like they're just so fucking terrifying to me, dude.
Really?
They're just so creepy looking.
I think they're neat.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I'm a little offended, but you're really on point, though. What is
No
it
need
about?
to be offended. It's true.
Yeah, you got me dead to rights.
Jake, what was your...
Oh, that's funny.
Hit me with your article. Your first one.
All right. So I'm talking about the... Oh, I'm going to butcher this word. Okay, 100%. The Penangle. It is a vampire type thing from Malay folklore.
I know that thing. The Penangolin?
Yeah, Penangle, whatever, I don't know.
It's another language.
So, yeah. it comes from the word tenangle, meaning to remove or take off, because its form is that of a floating, disembodied woman's head with trailing organs still attached.
Ooh.
Yeah, from afar, it twinkles like a ball of flame, apparently. Pretty fucked up. There's a bunch of different iterations of it through, like, various countries in Southeast Asia. But this one specifically is Malaysian. So it can't actually be called undead, or a classical undead thing, because it takes the form of, like, a living woman during the day. And then at night turns into this, like, disembodied organ thing, right? And one of the biggest things about this is it will, like, meditate, essentially, in a vat of vinegar to preserve all the organs and shrink them so they don't, like, sag as much. I don't know. It's really fucked up, dude. But in the actual folklore, like, how this happens is they are mortal women who practice black magic. To become one, you must meditate during a ritual bath in vinegar with your whole body submerged except for your head. Then you're active in penangle form during the night, essentially. The creature regularly soaks its organs in vinegar to shrink them for easy entry back into the body. Yeah, and you can really tell which one of these women is this, because they'll just fucking reek of vinegar 24/7, dude.
No, man. See, that's a light self-pickle. Do you think they ever throw a little sachet in there
Yeah.
with, like, some bay leaf and some coriander, maybe a little bit of star anise?
Oh,
Some of those little
dude,
baby
I would,
onions.
dude. Be the best you know?
Yeah, and some baby onions. Right?
So-
You return to your body and you got a little snack ready for you.
A couple of cucumbers, just cuz.
Gross. They just stuff my organs back in here. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, dude. Hell yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, you
Time to eat a baby onion.
Delightful homemade pickled onion.
recompile yourself, cough, and a pickle comes out. Oh, hey, snack.
Speaking of babies, though, their
Uh-oh.
victims are traditionally pregnant women and young children.
As you do.
As you do, yep. So what they'll do is they'll hide under the stilts in all, like, the Malay stilt houses, right?
Oh, yeah.
And use its long tongue to lap up the blood of the new mother.
Like a mosquito?
Isn't that what Tom Cruise did?
That's exactly what Tom Cruise did. I'm glad you brought that up. That segues very well into my next one. We'll have to wait on that one.
Ah, damn.
So, the most common protection against one of these creatures is to scatter the thorny leaves of any of the subspecies of local plant known as mangkuang, probably butchered that as well, which has sharp thorny leaves and would either trap or injure the exposed lungs, stomach, and intestines of the penangle as it searches for its prey.
Oh, because it's got soft organs just trailing around. Right?
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty
You
good.
cut those and the whole thing dies. That's why it's not, like, technically undead, I guess, right?
That kind of sounds like a downgrade on having the body. I mean, isn't the point of the body to protect?
It
the
really
squishy
does.
organs?
It's just like haunting with extra steps, dude.
I guess, but I mean, there's got to be like some benefit. I mean, it's light immortality, I assume.
Yeah,
if
well, I
you're
mean, the
pickled?
benefit is, like, you're not actually dead. Like, you're not like a ghost that's just wandering, doing whatever the fuck ghosts do, right? Like, you're like, I don't know, living your normal life by day, and then drinking
There you
menstrual
go.
blood by night.
Didn't
I
you
guess.
just be in your body underneath the house, drinking blood? I'm just saying.
Yeah, but that defeats the purpose of
being
the
scary.
vinegar. I
What,
guess.
what is the purpose? That's a good.
I don't know. I was really looking for something, but I got nothing, dude.
Maybe this is just a black magic ritual that was concocted by the vinegar companies.
Big vinegar
Could
Big
wants
vinegar.
to scare you.
Big vinegar coming in. Yeah, scary shit, dude.
Haunted by big vinegar.
Oh, apparently it's also a monster in Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh, I
Yep.
bet everything's a monster in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep. It appears in Hellboy as well.
Where?
The comics.
I've read a lot of Hellboy. I don't have any memory of that.
Hellboy, the Troll, Witch, and Others comics.
Or maybe that's how I learned. It's been a long time, actually, since I read Hellboy. I gotta get back into that. It goes...
Dude, Hellboy's the shit.
It goes ham, dude. Last I saw, the world
Yep,
was
yep,
in the
yep.
middle of ending.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like your average Hellboy comic, honestly.
It worked its way up to that. I didn't expect them to really, like, go there and, like, have and like work through the actual like fallout of society, you know, like reforming and everything and dealing with these unnatural monsters.
All right, Pip.
It's good. All right. My topic is slime molds, which is an informal name given to several kinds of unrelated, I'm gonna butcher this, eukaryotic organisms that can live freely as single cells.
Sounds like a sex thing.
It does a little bit, but they live freely as single cells but can aggregate together to form multicellular reproductive structures, which is wild because it's a single cell or it's a colony and it just functions freely as both. They used to be classified as a fungi, but are no longer considered part of that.
You can't see the face I'm making right now looking at this Wikipedia page.
Oh, you're looking at it?
Fucking
Oh, man.
disgusted. It's so weird, dude.
It's the damn near alien, dude. There's over 900
Dude, actually,
species.
this is not.
Yeah.
This is not of this earth, man.
Their
100%.
common name refers to part of some of the organism's life cycles where they appear as a gelatinous, quote, slime, it says, which tracks, because slime mold.
I want to poke one with a stick.
I don't want to go near one ever.
Well, you gotta be careful with that, because apparently they can ride on things, too.
It get like attached to you? Hold on, back up. Let's revisit this.
Yeah, most slime molds are smaller than a few centimeters, but some species reach sizes of up to several square meters and masses of up to 20 kilos. Many slime molds, mainly the, quote, cellular slime molds, do not spend most of their time in this state. When food is abundant, they exist as single-celled organisms, and when it's in short supply, many of these single-celled organisms will congregate and start moving as a single body.
Wait. It moves?
Yeah,
By
man.
itself?
Yeah, man. I will repeat
What
that
the
last part.
fuck?
When food is abundant, these slime mold exist as single-celled organisms. When food is in short supply, many of these single-celled organisms will congregate and start to move as a single body. Like the liquid metal Terminator, except it doesn't become a guy.
I was gonna say like Voltron, but tiny.
Pardon?
Like Voltron, but tiny, and like a lot of them.
Like
Gross
Voltron, but
Voltron, dude.
moldy.
Voltron, dude.
Dude, what kind of sound do you think a slime mold
Voltron.
makes?
Gross.
Yeah.
What kind of sound do you think a slime mold makes as it moves?
You guys hear this?
That was wow. Pip, you are no longer a host. You're now the Foley guy.
Oh no.
That was beautiful.
Heyo.
We conked, dude.
What else you got, Pip? You got anything else on slime molds? Tell us.
Yep. In that state,
Slime me.
they are sensitive to airborne chemicals and can detect food sources. Keep in mind, this is a congregation of single cells moving as a single colony. They don't really have a nervous system, but can detect food sources through airborne chemicals. And readily change...
How does it actually move? Does it claw the ground and just like drag itself, basically? Or does it like wiggle?
I think it just moves the same way any single cell does, except they all kind of just do.
it at
They've
once.
got... Single cell things normally have like those philia, and they just kind of...
So it's like
those little
tiny crawlies.
Those little micro hairs,
Yeah.
and it just legit like micro crawls. Yeah.
Cilia, isn't
They
it?
can...
Fucking hell.
Cilia, that's what it was, not philia. They can readily change the shape and function of parts and may form stalks that produce, quote, fruiting bodies, which release countless spores light enough to be carried on the wind or hitch a ride on passing animals, which then grows into more slime mold cells.
That's the peak of evolution, right?
As you poke it with that stick has got slime mold on it. You poke that stick somewhere else, you've spread it.
You cannot kill it in any way that means anything.
Yeah. They feed on microorganisms that live in any dead plant material. So it eats the things that eats the dead plants.
That's a fucking apex predator, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah. So this is the real life version of like fantasy D&D slimes. I'm just glad that they don't form like 3D slimes, because we'd
Big cubes.
be all done for, dude. It's just like a film. And now
Yep.
I don't know if it mentions it in the article, but I did read an article some time ago wherein it actually has a form of, quote, external memory despite being an accumulation of single-celled organisms, wherein the slime it leaves behind is a physical memory of where it has been, and there is no food. They tested that. They spread like a film of food in a pan and let it just move around, and it wouldn't go where it had already been because it knew that there was no food there because it had left slime. So just physiologically, it has memory. It's not sentient. It's just a colony
so
of cells, but it knows.
Its slime sense can see where its slime trail is, dude.
Yeah, because it goes to move there, and it's like, oh no, that's our slime. We've been there. There is no food. We will go elsewhere.
We, the collective, will go elsewhere.
Yeah. A hive mind of goo, baby.
God, I never want to hear goo mind ever again. Get this out of here.
Yeah, baby. If you're feeling particularly bold, you can look up some Google images, because there
That's okay.
is, as I said, over 900 species, and they all look wild. Some of them look like little colonies of mushrooms, dude.
It's little slow-moving mushrooms with memory.
The fruiting bodies that they produce have an insane variety of weird looks.
That might be the scariest thing we hear tonight, actually.
Yeah,
What do
it's
you think
real,
it tastes like?
and you can't disprove it.
What do you
Probably
think?
tastes like mold.
Mm.
You keep your bread for too long, and you bite into it, and you get that mouthful of green dust. I bet that's what it tastes like.
Excellent. For the next one,
Let's move on from this,
I
please.
got for you.
I win.
Yeah.
The Euthanasia roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
Designed in 2010 and made into a scale model by a Lithuanian artist whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce. A PhD candidate
Oh,
at
you
the
can't
Royal
say that.
College
You gotta
of Art
try
in
it.
London. His
with
last
it.
name's Urbanus.
What's his first name?
His first name's Julianus?
Julianus Ebonus?
Julianus Urbanus.
I feel bad for laughing. It's fucking bars,
That's
dude.
probably not right,
That's
but you're
kinda
right.
catchy.
That flow is sick. Anyways,
Ulionis bonus, dude.
he'd worked at an amusement park and stated that the goal of the concept was to take lives, and I quote, with elegance and euphoria. He mentioned euthanasia
Okay.
or execution as the purpose.
I mean,
He,
a hooker and some morphine would do the trick too, wouldn't it?
I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
I got a question for you, though.
Less elegant.
What kind of
stuff.
crime do you got to commit to be sentenced to death? And they're like, you know what, dude, you get to ride the roller
You're
coaster.
sentenced to the coaster.
Yeah. Coast 'em, boys.
Lethal injection. Now we're putting them on the coaster.
You ought to go man, that would be a source of such great horror stories. Can you imagine a horror story of someone who's wrongly convicted and they they get knocked out with like a needle in the neck or something after the trial, and then they wake up already in the coaster as it like goes up.
Strapped to the fucking coaster.
No.
I wonder if it like has that thing at the end where it takes your picture and you can print it off.
With the like commemorative
Time of death,
thing.
dude. $5 for a picture. Let's go.
Nah, dude, each loop has a camera, so as you go by, you can progressively see it occur.
Oh dear. Oh my. So he got the inspiration from John Allen, the president of the Philadelphia Toboggan Company. He described the ultimate roller coaster as one that sends out 24 people and they all come back dead. That's a bold statement from someone who makes like wooden toboggans.
Toboggan's kind of
Yeah,
ripped, though.
yeah.
When's the last time you've been on a toboggan, man?
The perfect toboggan
That's
is
been a
one that
bit.
can kill someone with G-force as they go down a 120-foot hill on a 30% incline. Just death. No brakes. We're putting a blade on the front.
I mean, that'll kill you for sure.
I want to get off
No
Mr.
hope.
Bones' wild ride.
Once you start going down the hill, it's got little booster jets that will actually propel you down faster. So
Where we're going, we don't need snow, dude.
Just you don't even hit the bottom and like slope off onto the flat ground. You hit the bottom and just smash. Like you're going so fast you don't even curve.
What you do is you get another
Do you guys
coaster.
remember fucking? Do you guys remember crazy carpets? You guys ever go on these?
wow,
carpets?
baby.
That is that experience, dude. 100%. You go down that hill and you either fall off midway and fucking roll to your death, or you hit the bottom of the hill so fast it just like sends you flying every time without fail.
Third option is you hit a bump, and because you're like laying
Yep.
down on the crazy carpet, all the force and speed of you landing from that bump destroys your body,
Sends you off, dude.
disintegrates your bones.
There's a hill, maybe I don't know, 200 feet from my parents' house, that all the kids in the area would go sledding on. And when I was younger, it was a hazard because the hill was pretty big, and kids would at the bottom build small ramps that blended in with the surrounding snow.
Alright.
So you,
Oh, sneaky ramps.
yeah,
Okay.
so you would go down, and like it was only like an 8-inch, 10-inch ramp. But if you hit that thing at speed and you're not expecting it, and you're on like a crazy carpet, like you've just been yeeted into oblivion. You're gone.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and it's on a hill, right? So if I'm assuming this correctly, by the time gravity, the difference in height between where the jump is and where the actual ground is, where you land, is like a couple feet.
Yeah, it's sizable for sure.
And we had the same thing at my old sledding hill. We also had a small half pipe to the side that nobody used for actual like snowboarding, and people would just try and get as much speed as they could to hit the end of the half pipe, and it was basically just like a skateboarding bowl where it went up to like full vertical. So people would try and like hit that on the crazy carpet and then like land on their feet and walk off.
Just
Most people
shattered
I
did
by
imagine
not.
most of the
knees.
time they just died, though.
Most
Yeah.
people did not land on their feet. They just
Yup.
beefed it. And everyone loved it.
Oh,
I miss being a kid, dude,
That
when my
sounds so much
bones
fun.
were soft and springy.
yeah, dude. Now I'm just sore. And if I did that, I'd actually break something.
Old
Oh,
and I
yeah,
gotta use
dude.
a cane.
I cripple myself.
So, the concept design of the coaster layout begins with a steep angled lift up to a 510 meter peak. So it would take 2 minutes for the train to hit the top. You got 2 minutes to think about it, and any passengers that wished to get off then could do so, unless I assume you were sentenced to the coaster, and then they would be like, nope.
Do they just have like a half
Just
kilometer
shackled.
ladder? Well, how do they get you off?
I imagine there's something.
They just walk it back, like, oh, sorry, when someone's wants to get off. Everyone else on the coaster
you gotta
is
go
like,
through it again, dude. Really make sure you're ready for this.
They have
everyone
a
else is trying to talk them back into it. Come on, man.
They have a little slide that runs down the side, and they give you a potato sack right at the start.
You actually just go on the skyscraper, dude.
They give you a crazy carpet and let you ride back down the tracks.
Anyone who doesn't want to take the roller coaster is perfectly free to step off the side and throw themselves into the abyss halfway up to get the job done instead. That's your choice. We're giving you the freedom.
Yep.
So,
Two choices is indeed freedom.
from the 510 meter top, you would have a 500 meter drop that would take the train to 360 kilometers per hour, pretty close to terminal velocity, before
very
flattening
fast.
out
Terrifying.
and speeding into the first of its 7 slightly clothoid inversions, so a little bit of an oval shape almost. Each inversion would have a smaller diameter than the one before, because it would maintain the lethal 10G to passengers while the train loses speed. After a sharp right-hand turn, the train would enter a straight, where unloading of corpses and the loading of new passengers could take place.
So if you survive the loop-de-loops, that right turn just snaps your neck then, eh?
No, well, they said that what they would want to do is to either add extra inversions or to run the roller coaster twice to make sure that, like, everyone who was
Just
on
run it
this
back,
is
dude.
dead.
No, what you do is you
So,
get a
alright.
second coaster, and then at the end they interact and they just crash.
They flip like upside down over one another so that the heads on the coaster like smack one another, and you just like,
This sounds like every coaster I've ever made in Roller Coaster Tycoon. Actually. You said that they load and unload at the same time. So did you say that, or was I not listening?
Yeah, no, it says that you would unload,
they just, like-
you'd pull all the bodies out, and you would wipe all the fecal matter because, like, you know, you void your bowels.
What do you do with all the corpses? You just kick them out the other side, or what?
You pull them.
Listen,
and
nobody wants to see how the sausage gets made.
You give them one of those.
True.
You give them one of those. I survived the euthanasia roller coaster, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt things. And you put their photos in their hands.
But you
and
didn't
ride.
survive. You were dead.
Oh
They
my-
killed you.
You
God,
tossed
I
them
want to
in the
get
pit
that
and
shirt
died.
though. Actually, I
That
would
would
wear
be-
the hell out of that shirt.
If we start doing merch, I swear the first thing I'll make is a shirt that says "I rode the euthanasia roller coaster and survived." And the only thing I got was this lousy hoodie.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
My
so
face
the,
hurts from smiling.
the idea is that it would kill you through cerebral hypoxia by keeping you at 10G for 60 seconds. Basically, like, your blood wouldn't be able to pump, and your brain would just not have enough oxygen, and your vision would go gray and turn into a tunnel, and then you would just die. And that's why they kind of came up with this idea as like a humane, you know, other than the hideous terror of your impending death, which I assume, like, you always feel during an execution or euthanasia.
I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd be focused on the ride, right? And we just fade to black as you rode the coaster for the last time. Probably more.
Until a blood rushes to your fucking brain, you can't breathe. Yeah, dude.
I guess. I mean, it's probably more fun than, you know, sitting in a garage with the exhaust running in a car.
I don't know,
Dude,
man.
at least that you're sitting in the heat. You got some tunes
I was,
going.
I
you
was
know?
gonna say you got tunes pumping, man. Maybe you got a little Burger King in there.
I mean, there you go. You just pump
A
some
little
music
BK
into
on the way out, dude.
You hit the vape
Pump
pen.
some music into the coaster, dude. You got the Beach Boys.
You know what? I think that the last thing that I want as I'm like hitting the top of the peak is like the synthesizer and tambourine beginnings of like Good Vibrations. That's like the
Give me
last
the Beach
shit I
Boys
want.
and free my
Wait a minute.
soul. As
Wait a-
it just fades to black.
Wait a minute. I want you to stop the coaster long enough for me to listen to Pet Sounds one last time. Please.
There's nothing I want less in this world to die listening to the Beach Boys. Actually.
Probably want to listen to like Tame Impala. Lo-fi. Wait, Jake's like, wait, let me pick the playlist. It's like lo-fi beats to chill and study to.
To chill and commit suicide too, I guess.
Chill and ride the euthanasia coaster too.
So what's the price of admittance for that coaster? You gotta pay for that? Or is it just like complimentary?
Complimentary. That's the cyberpunk dystopia I didn't know I wanted.
Oh god.
I've had enough.
I
Just
mean,
get on
Alright.
the
in
roller
Futurama,
coaster.
they charge for the suicide booth.
The 25
It's
cents.
true.
Yeah.
A pittance.
Alright. Alright. My next one, alright, is Charles Bonnet syndrome. You guys
What?
heard of this?
No.
So it is a visual release hallucination that only occurs in people that have serious vision loss. Right? It's weird. So it's a medical thing. I'll link you the article here so you guys can read along with me. But
Alright.
so it was first described by Charles Bonnet in 1760, and it was first introduced into English-speaking psychiatry in 1982. A related type of hallucination that also occurs with lack of visual input is called the closed eye hallucination. They're kind of similar, but a little different. So one thing, like the signs and symptoms are people with significant vision loss may have vivid, recurrent visual hallucinations. One characteristic is that these hallucinations, and they are usually, God, I'm not gonna be able to say this word, Lilliputian?
Lilliputian.
A Lilliputian.
Thank you. And that means that the objects or characters that you see during this hallucination are a lot smaller than they actually are.
It's a Gulliver's
Or the
Travels reference.
Yeah. So they can either be simple or complex. Simple ones are usually just like shapes or like grid patterns kind of thing. But the complex ones consist of like highly detailed people and objects. Most common one is, faces or cartoons and that kind of stuff, right? People who have these understand it's not real, but like I can't imagine the fucking terror of being blind or like significantly reduced vision, and then like seeing all this like crazy shit. That would be so terrifying to me.
And
You know?
it's stuff that you've seen before?
Potentially.
Jesus, I've spent way too much time on the internet, dude. If that happened to me, I'd see that, I had to do it to him guy just in a field of black.
Lucky Luciano.
Yeah.
I'm picturing just shopping in like a grocery store, and you like pluck a carton of milk off the side, and all of a sudden you start seeing like the sketch, like the music video for "Take on Me" by Aha, where it's all like sketches.
Yeah. That could be.
Everyone there's looking at you like you're crazy.
Banger though.
Actual banger, dude. You guys hear the Weezer cover of that song?
No?
Fucking mint, dude.
That's the one you put on the coaster.
It's all about the Real Big Fish cover.
As you're going through the loops, dude.
It is all about the Real Big Fish cover.
But so you got any more? Lay it on us.
So there's no, like, apparently there's no general consensus on the definition of this thing. It's just that you see shit, basically, if you're blind before, right?
Weird and vague. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So the predominant factors correlated with it are a decrease of visual acuity, visual field loss, and elderly age. It's more common in people, 60 plus than it is anywhere else. Not that it can't happen when you're younger, but it's more common when you're older. The characteristic features of visual hallucinations are not significantly linked to the anatomical site of the ocular injury. They usually match to the location of visual loss. Yeah, I don't know. It's more the concept of this. Like, this is a lot of medical shit that I know nothing about, so I'm not even trying to read it. But it's more the concept of having no sight and then seeing either like crazy detailed hallucinations of random people and random objects, or like seeing all these like weird like fucking 80s style geometric fucking dancing shapes. That's fucking terrifying to me, dude. Yeah, that's
like
that's
those
what I think,
solo
right?
cups.
It's weird.
Did you see that blue wave?
I'm looking a little deeper in the articles here, and you know what? Those 60% of people say that the hallucinations have no effect on their lives. 33% feel it's disruptive, and 7% even find pleasure in the hallucinations.
7% of people have a tulpa.
I don't know. It would still be really strange to me, though,
Good morning, hallucinatory Kate Upton.
It would be so... I don't know, like, I guess... I'm trying to think of how I would enjoy it. I guess, you're deprived of your sight, and then you get to see something again. Like, that's probably pretty cool, but...
I mean, maybe you watched
as
a
someone
lot of
who's
Baywatch
never been
when you had
blind,
sight.
I don't think it's like things you've seen before, because not everyone has seen things before, right? I think it's just like...
Well, that was the... I thought that was what it said, was like, if somebody who had sight and then lost it gets this?
Yeah, but like...
It can be anyone with significant
It doesn't
vision
mean
loss.
that you see things that you've seen before. It just means that if your eyes are accustomed to seeing and then you lose sight, sometimes your brain will just be like, actually, you're seeing things and make shit up.
Yep.
That seems lightly related to sensory deprivation.
Yeah, they make a couple allusions to it in the article.
Sure. They do, yep.
Pip,
Yes.
it's your turn.
So it is. I am doing the topic of my man Terracotta, who was a French showman and soldier. Lived in the 18th century, near the end of it. And he was noted for his, quote, unusual appetite and eating habits.
Ooh.
Now,
It's a big boy, dude.
yeah, now this man was more than a jughead. He more than just eating burgers. This man ate anything. He ate vast amounts of meat and was constantly hungry, which still is kind of jughead. And his parents could not provide for him, though, as a teenager, and he was turned away because he ate so much.
We can't afford to feed you. Get the fuck
Get
out.
out fast.
How hungry you gotta be, man? Anyways,
Very.
so instead of living with his parents, he lived with a band of thieves and prostitutes and became a warm act for a traveling charlatan. And in his act, he would swallow corks, stones, basket full of apples, live animals, pretty much anything, which is pretty wild. I
So
mean,
what-
I could see
That's
someone
pretty
eating.
wild.
Yeah, I mean, you know that kid on the playground. Everyone had that kid on the playground that would, like eat a worm for $1 or something. This man took it to a whole nother level. He ate the worms because he was hungry, and then got paid incidentally.
Same.
Called a poor man's
Oh.
poor man's ramen.
Poor man's wrong. I love it when my
Is that what we're
noodles.
going with?
I like when my noodles move as
Yeah,
they
they
go
fight
down.
back a little.
Oh,
Gross.
this man would have made it in Japan, dude, with the live octopus thing.
Oh, can you imagine the Terraire mukbangs?
No.
Just eats the fucking camera, dude.
Just
Impressive.
Stone
I heard
Cold
that
throwing
Terraire
full
had
blood
like a
chickens.
weirdly big mouth, dude. Is that true?
Yeah. It said that he has like a 4-inch mouth, like between his jaws when he opened it all the way. And I had a ruler. I've measured it. I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'1". I have a fairly large head, even for people of my size. I got 2 inches of space there.
Yeah, 4-inch mouth is a very, very big opening.
That's inhuman. It's like the Scream mask, except
Yeah.
his face just does that.
It's some taking of Deborah Logan shit.
Was slim, of average height. Let's see here. At one point, while he was a teenager, he was noted to have eaten a quarter of a cow, which is like 100 pounds, which is about his weight. His body weight is just meat. So no wonder his parents turned him away, right?
Right.
Yeah. When he hadn't eaten, his
Weird.
skin would hang so loosely that he could wrap the folds of skin from his abdomen around his waist. When full, it would distend, quote, like a huge balloon. And apparently there's a source on that, which is a direct quote from someone in history.
I think Matt Stoney has the same thing.
Who?
He's a professional eater. He does like eating
Yeah, that's
challenges.
an eating dude.
But he's also like a dietitian and does it really healthy. But I know that a big part of like doing stuff like that is literally expanding your stomach.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Great content, by the
I
way.
mean, how do you
Love
do
that
that to
stuff.
your jaw, though, by like 2 extra inches?
Yeah,
This
that was,
man,
that was before surgery. So
eh,
Just punch yourself in the jaw real quick. Dislodge it.
I don't know.
Broken forever. I don't know, dude.
This man's body was hot to the touch, and he was always sweating and had a foul body odor, which was described, and with another source direct quote here, as stinking to such a degree that he could not be endured within the distance of 20 paces.
Makes sense, right? If you're metabolizing all that all the time,
Yeah,
stinky boy.
you'd smell pretty fucking bad.
yeah. Apparently he never, like, vomited or gained weight or anything, and he seemed to be perfectly fine, if just kind of a little, like, apathetic. He didn't really care much about anything, except he was hungry.
God, that's really relatable, actually.
Yeah.
Mood.
Let's see, quote, a complete lack of force and ideas. There is so much more here. They tried to cure him with all kinds of stuff. They did experiments to see what he would eat. He was in the military for a time. He was given a wheelbarrow with 30 pounds of raw bull's lungs and liver, and he ate immediately all of it.
Like, raw?
Raw bull's lungs and liver. Now, liver is a thing that people eat. Most people don't eat lungs. This man ate garbage, trash, just awful meat. Would fight animals in alleys to eat garbage. There was
You eat the animal too, dude.
yeah, he was in a hospital when they tried to cure him for a while, and they wasn't working. And during that time, a 14-month child disappeared from the hospital. And, of course, everyone immediately suspected Armand Terraire. There wasn't really any way to defend him, and he was chased from the hospital.
Or Terraire, dude.
Yeah, imagine being that kid when that weirdly proportioned Frenchman was skulking the halls, feeling hungry.
Just roaming about, man, checking garbage cans
Yeah.
and bassinets.
It's so uncomfortable to
Ugh.
think of how this man looked, dude. I'm just imagining the hanging skin flaps in this fucking... Ugh.
Right?
Yeah.
Makes me think of a monster from a video game.
And he was,
Yeah, it really does.
yeah, I mean, and he was French, so the whole battle was just uphill from the
True.
start. I got one here, Pip,
I'll
to
bring it.
follow up on Terraire, called Charles Domery. He was a Polish soldier who served the Prussian and French armies, and he was known for his unusual appetite. He died sometime after the year 1800. It was around the same time as
What
Terraire.
happened there?
These guys were both soldiers
served
too, eh?
Yeah. He served the Prussian army against France during the War of the First Coalition. He found that the rations of the Prussians were insufficient, so he deserted to the French in return for food.
The French feed their soldiers better, apparently, dude.
An army marches on its stomach. Plus,
Yeah.
they've already got experience with Terraire. They're like, oh, fuck, another one. We know how to deal with this guy. We just feed him.
Run
and
it
he doesn't-
back, dude.
Yeah. Feed him. He's not going to eat our kids.
Like, he walked in and he surrendered to the French commander, and the French commander was like, good surrender, have a melon. And Domery just sat there and ate the whole melon, including the rind. And the commander was like, wow, that's wild. And just started giving him a bunch of other foods, and he just
Yo, what
ate
else
all
could
of
we
it.
throw in this guy, dude?
Yeah. So then he enlisted with the French army, and he shocked his comrades because he just ate. Double rations, used his pay to buy extra food, still starving all the time. He was stationed near Paris, and it was reported that he ate 174 cats in a single year, leaving only the skin and bones, and ate 4 to 5 pounds of grass each day if no other food was available.
Huh.
He preferred raw meat to cooked, and his favorite meal was raw cow's liver. But he'd eat
What?
any meat. He was on service on a French ship
Ah.
called the Hulk, and a sailor's leg was shot off by a cannon, and Domery grabbed the severed limb and started eating it until a crew member took it from him and tossed it into the sea.
You know how scary that would be to be one of the crewmates? And you see your buddy's leg get
You
blown
just
off,
see this
and
guy.
this man immediately goes like, Night of the Living Dead on it.
That's fucked up, dude. How hungry do you gotta be, though? You just see that leg and you're like, you can finish that, dude.
It just transforms into like a KFC two-piece in your mind. You're like, oh.
Go full Looney Tunes on it, man.
He's just standing there by your buddy. He just gestures at him. You gonna eat that? What? You gonna eat that? You gonna eat what? Never mind.
Apparently not. Let me finish it for you. Just grab his fucking bloodied leg. Blech.
So his ship eventually got captured by the British off the coast of Ireland, and they were put in a prison camp near Liverpool. And in those days, the food that prisoners of war ate was paid for by like the nation they were captured from. So when you gave them the soldier back, you would present them with like a bill. So they gave him double rations, and he was still hungry. So they ended up putting him on 10 men's rations each day. And the standard daily ration for a French prisoner of war was 26 ounces or 740 grams of bread. So just shy of 2 pounds of bread. So he was eating just shy of 20 pounds of bread a day.
That's a lot of fucking bread.
Half a pound of vegetables.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Of
so,
bread.
so he's eating 5 pounds of veg. And 2 ounces or 20 ounces, that's just over a pound of butter. Or 6 ounces of cheese. So what's 6 times 10? 60 ounces is a little over 2 pounds. 2 pounds of cheese a day.
Huh.
He was still hungry, and he ate the prison cat, and he was eating rats that would get into his cell. He was taking the medicines of people in the camp infirmary that didn't want to take them. He would just be like, oh, that's a snack, and just pop it with like no ill effects. It was also recorded that he'd eat candles, and that if he ran out of his ration of beer, he would start drinking water, which in that day was like not a done thing. That was the reason that you would drink like diluted beer, or you would put rum in beer to make grog, is to make the water.
Oh yeah, because it's full of like toxins and dysentery, right?
Yeah, so you would either mix it with alcohol, or you'd make like tea or coffee where you'd boil
Just
water.
anything to fill his stomach. Jesus.
Yeah, they did an experiment once where they woke him up, and at 4 a.m., given 4 pounds of raw cow udder, which he just wolfed down. 9:30 a.m., 5 pounds of raw beef, 12 large tallow candles, totaling about a pound, and a bottle of porter, all consumed. 1 o'clock, he's given another meal, 5 more pounds of beef, a pound of candles, and 3 large bottles of porter, all of which he ate and drank. He didn't poop or use the bathroom in any way or puke at all. His pulse was regular. His skin didn't change temperature the entire experiment. Upon his return to his quarters, He was recorded as being of particularly good cheer. He danced, smoked his pipe, and drank a further bottle of
They
port.
fed him a lot of food, and he's like, finally.
Finally, some good fucking food.
We don't actually know what happened to him. If he was freed, if he died in prison, if he was returned to France or Poland or stayed in Liverpool. We have no idea. Charles Dickens, noted that he said, and I quote, "Now it is my opinion that a man like this, doing in public on the stage of Drury Lane, would draw much better than a mere tragedian who chews unsubstantial words instead of wholesome beef."
That's so weird, dude.
Yeah, so two people with
Now we
big
know
boy appetites.
Terraire died because he ate a fork and they couldn't find it.
Oh, what a way to go, man.
Yeah. He swallowed a golden fork 2 years, and he believed that was what caused his weakness. And I'm still looking in horror at some of this article for Terraire, and like, he was also caught several times within the hospital drinking from patients that were undergoing bloodletting and attempting to eat the bodies in the mortuary. Hunger.
What the fuck, dude?
Hunger
Boy.
does things to people, man.
Hungry boy.
And if that's your
Hey,
whole
man,
thing, I
have a
guess.
Snickers.
Jesus.
You know you when you're hungry. All right, Jake.
All right.
You got another
Yeah.
one for us to take us off the horror of drinking?
Yeah,
blood?
yeah. So we're moving on from cannibalism to Scientology.
Basically, mental.
Basically,
cannibalism.
mental cannibalism. Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah.
Specifically, we're talking about Gold Base, all right, and that's their main headquarters, or whatever, right? The de facto international headquarters is the official title. It is in San Jacinto, in California. It's in California. About 85 miles or 137 kilometers from LA. So the weird thing about this place, all right, we'll start with a little bit of history, then we'll get to the weird shit. But it was previously a spa resort called the Gilman Hot Springs that was established in the 1890s, but they went bankrupt in the 70s, and the Church Scientology bought it in 78 under the alias of the Scottish Highland Quietude Club.
It's a red flag right there.
Yeah. What does quietude even mean? Let me Google this real quick.
Quietude, peace.
A state of stillness, calmness, or quiet, and quiet in person or place. You know what they say about those Scottish
Yeah, if I
Highlanders,
want-
dude.
They just really hate the bagpipes.
Dude, if I want quietude, I don't go to the desert. I don't join Scientology. I just go fishing.
In the hot springs?
in the Scottish Highland, dude.
No. Fishing in the Scottish Highlands.
So they bought that in 78, and currently on base there's numerous buildings, one of which is a movie studio called Golden Era Productions, which is kind of neat. They haven't done anything you would have seen.
Hell yeah.
It's like training videos and like propaganda Scientology shit, right? But it houses the Scientology leader, senior church officials, and up to 1,000 of the church's elite Sea Org. And so they all live and work on base. It's also the location of the $10 million mansion built for Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard. Although he never lived there before his death in '86, the mansion and his living quarters are still maintained to this day in anticipation of his predicted reincarnation. Yeah. Okay, now for the weird shit, all right? So everyone that works on base, this is according to some former members of Scientology, everyone that works on base, they'll receive sporadic paychecks of like $50 at most while working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But this pay can be docked very, very heavily if you don't meet any of your quotas or if you do something wrong or whatever, right? And oftentimes the work they do is seriously fucking brutal, right? There's this one report that I can't find in the Wikipedia article here, but I read it somewhere else, of this woman, and her job was literally to run around a circle in front of this hole, right, for like 12 hours a day, only taking maybe like half an hour for lunch and a couple other breaks in between. But if she didn't do that, like, she would be like heavily penalized on her pay, or abused or whatever, because religious groups can fucking do that, right?
Yeah, that's their religious freedoms in action.
Yeah. So that's a thing. There's also So about 100 people are reported of trying to escape the base every year, right? So they have to set up some defenses to keep your fucking people inside, I guess, right? There's a picture on here I'll link. It is a fence, all right? It is a fence that has blades on it, right? And you'd think, oh yeah, fence keeps stuff out. It's got blades on both sides, boys. Keep stuff in, keep stuff out. It's called the Ultra Barrier.
Oh yeah. Ooh, I'm looking at that. Jesus Christ, those are kitchen knives.
Yeah, those are.
That's like a steak knife, each side every few inches.
Those are very meant to keep someone in or out of the thing.
Nothing passes.
When asked why half the spikes face inwards, church spokesman Tommy Davis said, "That's just how they were installed."
The IKEA guy built it wrong.
Wait, really? Does it say that?
Yeah, that's how we got it. Yeah, that was their statement. Was that's just how they were installed. That's just how they came from the factory, dude.
It's not like they were custom ordered.
We were at Home
swear.
Depot. We were at Home Depot. We were picking up fence spikes, and they only had the doubles.
Yep.
So that's what we got.
Cost just as much for the one-way spikes. Might as well.
This place is actually huge, dude. If you look at the pictures a little way down the page, like there's got to be like like 15, 20 buildings on this site, dude.
Jesus.
It looks like there's these super tall, probably like I don't know, 3 or 4 story tall blue buildings, the blue roof. It looks like a fucking hotel, dude.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be like dormitories or something, right? I'd assume. But
oh yeah, I'm looking at the article. It says it's bisected by a public road, so that you can just drive through it freely.
Yep.
But it's closely monitored by the church, capital C.
Capital C.
With cameras recording passing traffic. That's scary, dude.
It's super scary.
Do they have the right to stop you if they think you're up to something? How scary would it be if you're passing through there and they don't let you out the other side?
You're just abducted by the Scientologists.
Yeah.
So the south side of the property, it has its in-house film studio. Just 7,400 square foot studio in the style of a Scottish castle. That's pretty sick, actually.
Is there a picture of that castle? Oh, there it is. That's a pretty whack castle, though. It doesn't look castle-y.
Little toy castle.
It's it's got the shape of a castle, but not like the texture. Do you think that the Google Earth camera van has gone through that road?
Probably. These pictures look very Google Earthy. The ones at the top, anyway. No, not really, actually. But okay, the weirdest part about this place, right? So obviously life is terrible. People try to escape all the time, so you got to install that kitchen knife fence, right? But if you are a senior member of the Church of Scientology, obviously that's less bad for you, right? So the average meal for the workers and everyone not at the top is about 70 cents a person, okay? But at the top, hold on, let me find the actual number. According to his financial officer, Miskovich's financial officer, from 2000 to 2004, his food costs range from $3,000 to $20,000 a week.
A week? I don't even make that much.
A week.
I don't even make half that much.
His villa is said to have a $150,000 sound system and its own private screening room. Living okay, dude.
What does he eat?
Everything.
Does he just eat the people that don't perform?
I feel like you would have to pay that much for it then, yeah?
No, that'd be cheap.
Yeah.
The best part about this article to me, though, right? This is this next paragraph here. So Miskovich is he loves dogs, all right? So much that he keeps up to 5 dogs on base that have their own Sea Org uniform and hold the rank of captain on base, okay? Staff are required to salute the dogs as they pass. That dog outranks you, unfortunately.
Ranked less than an animal, dude. Jesus.
Yep. So April 30th is the boy's birthday, all right? And every year, everyone on base is encouraged to donate their back pay. A $50 a week paycheck. Yep. They can keep that, and that's your back pay. They're encouraged to donate that to buy him a birthday present. And by encouraged, I mean basically demanded, right?
That's so sweet.
One year, he was given a $70,000 motorcycle.
Oh, yeah, totally deserves it. Wait, to the
No,
dog?
to him, to Miscavige. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dogs can't ride motorcycles. Fortunately.
I mean, this
I don't
is
know,
religion.
Yeah,
they're
it is
uniforms and
religion.
get saluted.
I don't expect it to make sense.
Get my dog a
A
motorcycle.
doggercycle. I think dogs would be more of a moped critter.
Think so?
Get my dog a hand.
I think a dog could maybe ride a moped. Maybe not a motorcycle, but maybe a moped.
I don't know. I feel like they'd have issues, throttling it, right?
And before the Church of Scientology reclassifies being a dog as a disability.
Maybe they give dogs thumbs on this base, dude.
You get special accommodations. Dog thumbs. Dog thumb
Dog
base.
thumb base.
Have you guys heard about that chick that pretends to be a dog on OnlyFans? And she just makes like an absurd
Oh,
amount.
man.
I just had the picture of fucking Miss Cabbage inviting her over. She can wear a uniform and be a captain and be
She
saluted.
could, because she has thumbs.
She can
Yeah,
ride a
there you go.
motorcycle.
I just feel so bad for everyone.
I was trying to find the Google Maps thing so I could take a remote tour through the middle of the base, and I found just a Wikipedia article for, quote, the whole
Oh, dude, let me see.
Scientology.
Give me the link. I was trying to find it, but I couldn't come bring it up.
Yep. There you go. It's within Gold Base.
It's the unofficial nickname of a facility, known as the SP Hole, the A-to-E Room, or the CMO Int Trailers. Padded near the town of Hemet. Dozens of its senior executives have reportedly been confirmed within the building for months or years. It consists of a set of double-wide trailers within the Scientology compound, joined together to form a suite of offices which were formerly used by the church's internal management team. It doesn't tell me what it is. I want to know what it is.
It is a place of confinement and humiliation where Scientology's management culture, always demanding, grew extreme. Inside, a who's who of Scientology leadership went at each other with brutal tongue lashings, even hands and fists. Which is wild because it's a who's who of Scientology leadership.
Like a
so,
Scientology
like,
fight club?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise beating the shit out of people? I guess. They intimidated each other into crawling on their
That
hands
sounds
and
like
knees
something-
and standing in trash cans and confessing to things they hadn't done. Lived in degrading conditions, eating and sleeping in cramped spaces designed for office use. What the hell is
Oh
happening?
no, dude.
I'm sorry, this is horrible and this is Kafka-esque, but I getting the shit kicked out of you by Tom Cruise sounds like something you'd have to win like a Mountain Dew contest for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Drink 300 bottles of Mountain Dew Code Red and Tom Cruise will punch you in the fucking right kidney.
Make you stand in a trash can.
Yeah. The church has denied these accounts. That says the hole does not exist and never has, and no one has been held against their will, but it acknowledges that its members are subjected to, quote, religious discipline.
Yeah,
and it is a program of ethics and correction entered to voluntarily as a part of their religious observances.
that's what makes this whole thing so terrifying.
I doubt
is
that.
like the people that live and work at Gold Base, right? Like you have zero contact with the outside world. They take your cell phone away. You cannot talk to anyone, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you have shit like this disciplinary facility where it's like, what the fuck are you even doing, dude? How is this legal?
Yeah. Well, it's because they deny everything, right? And they speak for you because their religion prevents you from being able to speak for yourself and saying that it was awful. So they're like, our formal statement is that he was fine, which is scary.
I'm digging a little deeper into this. They're talking about Miss Cabbage being a fucking psychopath, and I would be shot, killed, and buried on Gold Base within 2 hours if I ever tried to infiltrate. Miss Cabbage loves to call people a cock-sucking motherfucker, or to say, you suck cock on Hollywood Boulevard. And I would instantly be like, that's a bold statement from someone with lips like yours, buddy. Like, I don't...
And he was
and
never
he would just
seen
pull out a
again.
handgun and execute me. Yeah.
He was pounded into paste by Tom Cruise himself.
But dude, I'm gonna read this
That's how I
paragraph.
would go out.
Okay, so the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals noted in a ruling given in July 2012 that Mark Headley had been made to clean human excrement by hand from an aeration pond on the compound with no protective equipment, while Claire Headley was banned from the dining hall for up to 8 months in 2002. She lost about 30 pounds as a result of subsidizing on protein bars and water. In addition, she had 2 abortions to comply with Sea Org's No Children policy. The Headleys also experienced physical abuse from Scientology executives and saw others being treated violently. Like, that's not illegal. Like, what the fuck how does this place still exist, dude? That's so crazy.
It's the religious freedom.
That doesn't sound like freedom. It's so weird, man. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, but they've got like so much bank though.
Yeah.
That's how they keep it going.
They got that Tom Cruise speed money. Pip, did you have another article?
No, those were my only 2, and I guess and a half for finding the hole.
So did we want to take a quick look at that list?
Yeah, I was gonna say I have an article for you, dude. I think we just take turns reading off this. I just linked it in Discord, boys. Just take turns reading off some
Yeah, there it is.
funny or horrifying deaths.
I'm just gonna scroll to a random part of the page.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me kick it off,
you go.
gentlemen. My man, Saint Lawrence in 258 A.D. He was roasted alive on a giant grill during the persecution of Valerian. Prudentius tells that he joked with his tormentors, "Turn me over, I'm done on this side." He's now the patron saint of cooks, chefs, and comedians.
Oh, as you do. What the fuck?
Oh, this is my patron saint now, baby. I got an unknown 43-year-old Irish mother who died of an allergic reaction after having sex with a German Shepherd. The owner of the dog is prosecuted and added to a sex offender list.
Hebdociles? Endocles, I guess would be the right pronunciation. He was a philosopher from Sicily who declared himself as a divine being no longer mortal. He tried to prove this, the fact that he was an immortal god, by leaping into an active volcano. Didn't go so well, I guess.
Fuck it, I'm out.
Some say he's still in there swimming around.
Take it out, dude.
Didn't bring a ladder.
Take it a personal day, you know.
Alright, I got, let's see. I can't pronounce this because it's Brazilian. Adelir Antonio de Carli, a Brazilian Catholic priest. By the way, date of this, 21st of April, 2008. He was a skydiver and undertook a cluster balloon flight, which I didn't know was a real thing. I thought you just did that on Up. Cluster ballooning is when you attach a whole bunch of balloons to a harness and just fly. They lost contact with him, and the lower part of his body was found floating in the sea 11 weeks later.
Oh, no.
So, I guess he just blew away.
He went up, dude.
So
he went up.
So I want to cover Moliere. He was a famous French playwright who wrote funny plays, and he actually suffered a pulmonary hemorrhage caused by tuberculosis while he was playing the part of a hypochondriac in his own play.
Oh no.
And he disguised his convulsion as part of his performance, and he finished the show, which ends with his character dead in a chair.
Holy shit,
and
that's method acting, dude.
Yeah, dude, he was carried in the chair to his house where he died. What a king.
I think he died on stage and they just didn't want to admit that. So they just moved him and were like, he died there. Yo, Steve Irwin's on this list. God rest his soul. We all know how that happened.
Alright, Pete, dude. So we got Quinchi Huang, who's the first emperor of China. The Terracotta Army, dude, you know?
I know this man.
Yeah, he died after ingesting several pills of mercury in the belief that it would give him eternal life.
Yep. His tomb is also surrounded by a river of mercury, by the way. And they are still excavating it, like, centuries later, because it's so well guarded with the mercury poisoning and the terracotta warriors and just, like, the sheer density of the tomb. It's just
dude.
absolute poison to excavate.
It's actually so fucked up.
It's kind of really cool though. Like that's how you do it.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's just very weird, you know.
Yeah. How'd they get that much mercury?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, it's a lot. A lot. In July of 1518, several people died of either heart attacks, strokes, or exhaustion during a dancing mania that occurred in Strasbourg. A dancing mania? Something just compelled these people to fucking dance, and they just literally danced till they died.
God.
Someone just threw on the Jacksons' Blame It on the Boogie, and they'd never heard it before, and they just could not stop grooving.
Now
Dude,
that
actually
is
relatable,
what
though.
I call a boogie wonderland. Jonathan Capewell, age 16, died in 1998 of a heart attack brought on by the buildup of butane and propane in his blood after excessive use of deodorant sprays.
Oh no.
How much
I'm
you
sure you
gotta
guys can
spray
know.
your pits to put propane in your blood?
A lot.
A lot.
I got one more to start the last round here.
Sure.
Gloria Ramirez died in 1994 at the age of 31 from kidney failure related to her cervical cancer. She came into the hospital, and while treating her, the staff began to fall ill, suffering from loss of consciousness, shortness of breath, and muscle spasms. Shortly before dying, she was allegedly covered with an oily sheen that smelled like fruit and garlic. When they drew her blood with a syringe, nurses noticed that it smelled like ammonia, and there were unusual brown rust-like particles floating in it.
The alien infection, man.
Has to
Referred
be.
to as the toxic woman.
Has to be alien, dude.
Did
There's
they
no
ever
way that's
get?
real.
They ever get a sample of that to a lab? I wonder. My last one is October 1998. An entire football team of 11 people in the Democratic Republic of the Congo were fatally struck by lightning while playing. The other team left the scene unharmed. That's a weird way to win a game. Is the whole other team gets struck by lightning and dies.
I guess we win by default then.
A power of thoughts and prayers, dude. Angel in the outfield?
Okay, dude. Great movie, by the way. Fantastic. Alright, so your boy Thomas Urquhart in 1660, dude. A Scottish aristocrat who died laughing upon hearing that Charles II had taken the throne.
What a way to go, baby.
Dude, that's going out with style, though. With personality. I respect that.
I think the Greek philosopher Chrysippus died of laughter as well. I think a lot of people have died of laughter.
That's the way to do it, man.
You just like suffocate, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the king would be offended if somebody laughed so hard at him coming to the throne that he died?
Probably.
No, I mean, what are you going to do? Execute him?
I guess.
He's dead, dude. It's over.
He's done.
Yeah.
Do what you must.
I
He's
guess
already
we
won.
All right. So, to wrap up, I just want to take a moment. Thank everybody for tuning in as per usual. Please give us a follow on our social media where we are Out of the Abyss Podcast or OOTAP. That's OOTAP. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/OOTAP. Thank you all very much and have a good night.
Bye.
That's not the line at all.
Thank you for everything as an element of the unknown. And good night.